call in. Over.
This is Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Yankee Foxtrot, Dave.
Sorry I'm late. I was in the other room.
This is
Nora, N4POZ, November 4, Papa Oscar Zulu.
This is for Bravo 2, Oscar Echo, AV20E, Bob in North Chesterfield. This is November 4, Whiskey, Lima, Charlie, Bill at Windy Hill.
I'm sorry, can Bob give me his call one more time? I didn't get it.
Sure, let me see if I got it. Good evening, Emily. The call is Alpha Bravo 2 Oscar Echo AV20E.
Thought I was finished. I was not.
Kilo 4 Oscar Whiskey Uniform Chevy. This is W4BRU, Bruce.
Doorway 4, Italy, Charlie, Tango, N4ICT, Bob.
Okay, Bob, do it one more time, please.
Doorway, Italy, Charlie, Tango, N4ICT.
Net control, this is. William, Kilo 4, Alpha, Romeo, X-ray.
Whiskey, Kilo 4, Alpha, Romeo, X-ray. What was your name? I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Well, you kind of did. It's not whiskey. It's William. 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 Kilo 4, Alpha, Romeo, X-ray. That was close, though. Never been called whiskey
I'm truly
before.
dyslexic, so it's a little bit of a challenge. Thank you for working with me.
No problem. This would be a good exercise for you then.
Anybody else out there wants to check in?
This is KC5 ZYP James.
Okay, I'm going to start with, and somebody else wants to come in. I'll check in a minute, see if anybody else wants to come in. I think it was Dave, KR4EYF, that came in first.
Good evening, everyone. This is Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Yankee Foxtrot, Dave. And it's been a very interesting week. I've spent the week out on the James River at a religious retreat this week. over to net control.
Wow, I didn't know you could do the walk to a mail on the James. That's interesting to know. All right, Nora, N4POZ.
This is Nora, N4POZ. And Emily, this is your first time doing net coordinators. So you're doing a great job. I'm so glad that you jumped in. As far as me, I'm glad to be back in Richmond and being able to be on the call, which I wasn't when I was in Crozet last week. So very happy to be here. Thank you. Over.
I was going to say, I thought her first time was last week.
Lynn, KQ4YLYD. Are you there? Hoping she could hear us.
But we do.
All right, how about Bob? It'd be 420E.
82OE.
Good evening, Emily. Nice to meet you. Call is 82OE. Just think about to overeat. Name is Bob. Nothing new to report here. I'm in the middle of doing some assembly. I'm building a tricycle for my wife and my daughter, an adult tricycle, and that's a lot of fun. Anyway, back to net. Emily, doing a great job, and thank you for running the net. AB2OE, Bob, North Jessica.
KK4QWU Chevy.
Yes, this is Kilo 4, Oscar, Whiskey, Uniform. It's Mike, I go by Chevy. Not too much going on, doing some work around the house and getting ready to seed yard stuff. Did want to put out an announcement, the Richmond Marathon is a ton of fun. We are short on people and need some more volunteers. You do not have to be experienced. We will put you with somebody that is experienced. And anybody on this net certainly qualifies to help out. And please, we need some more volunteers. You can go to the homepage at rats.net, and right at the top are links where you can click on volunteer and fill out the form and register with us to help out at different water stations.
60 seconds.
Anyway, go to rats.net on the homepage at the top. There are links. We definitely need some more hams to join us. It's a lot of fun. No experience needed. You'll get information in a packet, and you get a free T-shirt. But everybody that participates has a great time. The events, both the marathon and the half marathon, are full of runners with a waiting list. So if you can, please help out. Back to net control. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you, Chevy. You're encouraging. I'm not so sure I'm getting this all together, but it sounds like a wonderful opportunity for anybody who's available to do that. I can't do it this year, but they do it every year, so I'll try to plan on doing it next year. I think I'll be ready.
Y'all gotta let the repeater drop. It needs to fully cycle before it times out.
Break, net control, break. This is Whiskey 4, Mike Golf Alpha.
And there's the big guy, Mr. Trustee himself.
Repeat, please.
So this is Whiskey 4, Mike Golf Alpha W4MGA. Trustee on the repeater here. I don't know if Bruce has made you aware of this, but we have a 1-minute timeout timer on the repeater these days, which means the carrier must drop, which takes 2.5 seconds after the last transmission. So if any station slides in on the squelch tail, the timeout timer does not reset, and that's why you're getting terminated or truncated transmissions from the other station. So at a minimum, net control needs to let the carrier drop before you ask for the next call. Whiskey 4 Mike Golf Alpha.
It wasn't just net control, it was
Thank you
Chevy.
for that information.
Very
Hey.
welcome.
Going to make her even more nervous than she was when she started.
Let's go back to Dave, and we have to keep it to 1 minute. What's happening that you know about, Dave?
Well, I am just having a
Uh-huh. Golly, folks, come on. You did it again.
This is W4BRU.
Yes, it dropped Dave. What happened on that?
Because that didn't happen.
Okay, you have to wait. You have to wait until you hear that little hiss at the end. Let's go on microphone so you can hear it.
Got to wait for that carrier to drop.
Hear that, you know the repeater has reset. We've got a new amplifier on it, and we're trying to keep it healthy and figure out what's going on with it. So we have 1 minute, and then it times out, and then waits for a while before it cranks back up again. So that's what's been happening.
Good to know. I thought I was just pushing the wrong button.
Most of us are not used to having that kind of a requirement, so we got to kind of mumble on. But anyway, we need to give it a break. So anyway, just I'll get back in my turn again, but just want to pass that on. Over.
All right, Nora, what do you want to say? N4POZ.
Oh, this is so difficult. I'm very chatty, so I have to restrain myself to talk. So I'm only going to say I'm having a lot of fun. Over.
That's really good news.
All right, Nora's having done it. How about Bob? What do you have to say?
Good.
It's kind of like a presidential debate. You have to really squeeze everything into 60 seconds, and you got to look at the S meter and make sure it drops. But considering the reach that this repeater has, it's a very small inconvenience. But yeah, it's easy to time out.
I'm trying to learn about the hiss. I don't really hear a hiss, but I'll try to figure it out. How about Chevy? KK4QW.
OW.
Yes, KK4 Oscar Whiskey Uniform. Chevy, I think there's a couple people that you may not have heard. N4 WLC Bill, K4 ARX William, and there was a KC5 CYT Jane. You may want to reach back out to them or ask for more check-ins. What you want to do once the repeater, the person responding to net control, stops talking, wait until you hear the chunk, if you want to call it, and then wait for a second or two, and then key up the mic for what you're going to say. Doing a great job. 73s. KK
K4ARX, William. Are you there?
Yes, following right along. Sounds good. They're making reference to, some of us can hear it, and if you're really close, you probably can't. That just has something to do with distance. If you don't have an S meter, I have an LED. It's not an S meter or bar or anything. I can watch it disappear when the carrier drops, and there's a timer here for me, so I can watch it. But all of you are doing just fine. My biggest achievement this week is actually filing paperwork. I'm kind of proud of that. I found 2.5 years worth of Xfinity bills that are paid, of course. K4ARX.
Hey, James, are you still there? I'm listening for Ka-chunks.
It's not a kerchunk. Y'all are confusing her.
Yes, I'm here, and
Oh.
I'm getting ready to burn the midnight oil. I work at the Richmond International Airport, so I'll be working on planes all night.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have to say good night to everyone, 73s, and thank you very much for being in control. This is Kilo Charlie 5, Zulu Yankee Papa. Clear.
Back to Dave.
This is Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Yankee Foxtrot. And I'm going to be pass this one on and back to net control.
Oh, now nobody wants to talk. Y'all done scared everybody. I mean,
Okay.
you got a
Nora,
marathon
tell me
coming
about
up.
your new ham stuff that you're going to be getting. N4 POZ.
This is Nora, and for POZ, I'm getting my mobile on Thursday. Bruce is going to bring it to the McDonald's. Oh, I should have started my timer. Okay, there you go. And so I'm eager to try it with a J-pole and see if that how that works. So I think it's over. I just don't want to be cut off. I hate that. Over.
Bob, are you still there?
And good luck there, Nora. Very, very good to hear your voice. I missed you last week. Yeah, I tend to be long-winded, so what I'll do is I'll say, let me drop it for a minute, and I'll continue my sentence if I have something really important to say. But yeah, I don't always have something very important to say. So, but doing a great job, Emily, and this is a pretty decent crowd. So it's a lot to organize. Back to net WB4EMYAB2OE.
KK4QWU Chevy.
Yes, KK4 Oscar Whiskey Uniform. Chevy, not too much to add. Please help out if you can with the marathon. Any help will be greatly appreciated. It's a ton of fun. I'm not sure what happened to Bill in for WLC. He was at Windy Hill. He may have gotten tied up, but he was trying to check in. 73 is everybody. Thank you for doing a great job, Emily. KK4OW.
William, K4A Romeo X-ray.
Let's think about this. Forget about the timers. Make sure that, well, for example, if you're going to be working the marathon here in a couple of weeks, you have a certain amount of time to say what you have to say, and they're going to tell you what you need to say. Just be as brief as possible. Forget the clock. For instance, you're passing traffic information like your station needs water or cups or supplies. You're reporting the bib numbers for runners, and all you have to say is color, number, gender, and that's about it. There may be a clock there you can watch for the runners. I just forget the clock. K48RX.
That's good to know. That's not quite as intimidating as I thought.
Right.
Okay, how about James? Are you still with us?
He had to go back to work. Hey, again, net control. That was a double. Go ahead and say that again.
W4BRU, Bruce.
Okay, got in here a little bit. I can't think of a whole lot to say. We'll talk about this a little bit when we get done with this session. We'll talk on Zoom a bit, but getting used to being net control. I think each of you has found it kind of intimidating. I remember the first time I had to be net control. It was kind of like, gee, I do know how to do this, but after you do it 2 or 3 times, you get good at it.
Well, if you just talk on the radio every day.
As far as the marathon goes, I need some company out there. It's nice to have some chicks along to be part of the operation for the marathon. Over. You in that control W4BRU.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I can't do it this year, but I will plan on doing it next year. And yes, I'm a little bit intimidated because I can't get the calls down. It's like I'm trying to learn CW from these tapes that I borrowed, and I can't write the letters fast enough before they've gone off to 6 others. So it's going to take a lot of practice. But anyway, that's what it's all about. Okay. But Nora, do you have anything else? N4POZ?
No, I'm listening and I'm learning a lot. I think that you still miss Bob and for ICP.
Goodness, girls, come on.
It was a double.
What's a dump?
What's a dump? He said it was a double.
A double. As you were transmitting, Emily, I heard somebody else trying to transmit at the same time. And I think Nora's right. I think we may have skipped somebody, but I'm not sure.
4WLC.
There he is. I think his net's taking a dump.
4WLC.
Good evening. This is N4WLC, November 4, Whiskey Lima Charlie. Bill out here at Windy Hill. I'm staring at Dave's truck out here, working a little POTA in between and talking to y'all. And just doing a good job for your first time. 73 N4WLC, back to net.
Maybe he's on HF. He didn't say.
Thank you, Bill. How about Dave? You want to come in again? KR4EYE.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, this is KR4EYF, and I'm pretty much done for the evening, so I'm going to sign out, say 73, and everybody have a good evening. KR4EYF, back to net control.
Recheck.
Sounds like we've got a lot of 73s, so I want to probably close it out for tonight. And I want to thank the Metro Richmond Amateur Club for allowing us to use their repeater tonight. And give a shout out for all the people that have helped me this week. And there have been a number of them. So The good thing about hams, they're all such givers.
Metropolitan Repeater Association, the MRA. AB2OE K4ARX. See if Bob's still around. Where are you, Bob?
For ARX, W4BRU.
There's Bruce. W4BRU. Good evening, K4ARX.
Hey, William, I'm about to go back into the Zoom session here with the group, but so anything else you wanted to add or something?
Well, I was hoping to have a little conversation with Bob there if he was still around, but if he's not, it's okay. I suppose I could add, just remember the basics. Don't forget to push to talk first before you start talking. And it might be okay to have a mental, remember just to leave about 3 seconds in between once the repeater resets, maybe 3 seconds, just in case somebody else wants to break in is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. That's helpful. I'm very much a learner right now.
KK4OWU.
Yeah, go ahead, Jebby. I assume net control's done, so it's a round table now.
Say, Emily, I am terrible with names and much worse with call signs. And just a suggestion, something I started doing on the different nets. I don't know how many different nets that you can actually listen to, but I would follow along with net control and write down all the call signs as they were taking them, and it gave me practice, one, on hearing and actually mentally processing, because I have to visualize things, the call signs and names, and that seems to have helped. And so every net I'm on, I'm following a list that I write down myself, and if I make a mistake when it comes back around, I can correct my list, but it helps me with getting the list down and remembering or being able to write down KR4EYF, for example,
Yeah, that's somebody that needs a timer. Well, I think you killed it. Nope, there it is.
We're closing down the net. It's 73, and I want to thank the Metro Richmond Amateur Club for having us.
I thought you already closed the net.
Tonight. So at this, we're closing down the net, and we're going on Zoom. So talk to you or try to get on next Monday night at 8:15. We'll be on again.
Let me see if I have it for a second.
I was just calling you.
Oh, 73, everybody. Great net, Emily. Thank you so much. I will just say that I started out listing the names of these nets on a sticky note, and I can see that sticky notes are not going to work every week. I'm going to have to get a regular piece of paper. 73, everybody. I'll be floating around. I think William, you might have wanted to ask me a question. So anyway, 73, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, if the net's actually closed, I just wanted to converse a minute if you had the time. If not, it's okay. Just giving an example of a regular conversation. We should be having regular conversations throughout the day anyways. We shouldn't have to wait around to net time to practice communication. I mean, the best way we could do this is talk to each other. You can write call signs down during conversations and keep up with folks during the roundtables.
See if I have it. I wasn't sure if. Hold on a second.
Yes, that was to you, Bob.
William, I wasn't sure if you were talking to Emily or me, but yeah, you're right, 100%. Where I come from, we had a couple of repeaters on Long Island that had 60-second timers, and they're repeaters that lasted more than 15 years apiece. So this repeater has a pretty hefty amplifier, and no sense beating it up. But anyway, William, let me drop for. William, you're probably wondering if I got that Mulville radio working, and I did not yet. I mean, I didn't bring it into the shack yet. I'm in the middle of assembling a brand new small adult tricycle for my wife and daughter, and that's I've been overtaken by events with.
I bet that's a fun project. I've always wanted one of those. There's actually one here. It's locked to the bicycle parking. We have interior bicycle racks, and next to mine is a tricycle, and it actually has a cooler box that's mounted to the back, like an ice cream trike.
Yeah, this one has a pretty big basket, and I was kidding my daughter because she has her technician. She hasn't used it in a while, so I've been threatening to once she gets used to it to turn it into bicycle mobile.
Yeah, that'd be neat. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You're gonna have to figure out how to mount that antenna, though. Won't be much of a ground plate on that basket.
So I figure if I put the ground wire in my mouth, I can be the ground plane,
Oh boy, I don't think you'd have good comms just for the lack of being able to speak. Probably off the handlebar. I think it'd be okay. Get you a go to the truck stop and get you a mirror mount for an international or maybe Freightliner. They should be big enough to go around that particular handlebar because the older mirrors seem to be about the same size in tubing. But yeah, that would work. Gosh, I remember them doing it with the CB radios back in the 70s, and it was kind of easy.
There was a fellow on Long Island who was a retired school teacher, and he didn't drive a car. In fact, all of his professional life, he rode a bike to and from his job. And he was bicycle mobile all day long, practically. The guy was a retired well, he was a teacher, but before that he was a mailman, so the guy's legs were like steel. AB2OE for ID.
Steel. Wow. Well, to be honest, I've done it a few times, and not very successful because my HTX 202 would hang off the belt, and it'd have a speaker mic, and it did have an external antenna mounted to the bicycle, and it was 5/8 wave, but it had a couple times where it would hop off the belt and hit the ground, so it was very inefficient. I didn't have any, good way to mount it to the bicycle, the radio, that is.
Believe it or not, William, I once worked CW Mobile with a guy who was CW Motorcycle Mobile, and he was running half a kilowatt. I think that's dangerous myself, but that's what he was doing.
Oh boy. Yeah, I read a story once, I think back in QST, where a guy was doing 20 meters from his bicycle. The idea was to drag the wire behind the bicycle because it was so long. And he got stopped by a car one day. Imagine that.
And there's a point where it can go from the sublime to the idiotic. But I do have to admit that I really enjoyed CW Mobile because I had a long drive on the Long Island Expressway, and that's how I learned how to head copy by forcing myself. It took a little time, but I've been coursing QRM with CW since I was 15 years old.
Well, imagine the aviators back in World War II. That was about all they had in the plane was maybe a key on the knee or on the side of the aircraft on the inside. They only use Morse code, as far as I understand.
It was the ultimate digi mode, and it still is. The band is always open with CW, so I was really happy to hear Emily is learning CW. That'll be great. And Emily, if you're listening, let me know if you want somebody to practice with. I'd be more than happy to practice with you. That's one of the reasons I'm interested in 2-meter. I'd love to get into some 2-meter CW practice for people.
Yeah, I could probably do that. This station right here will do it, the Kenwood TR9000. Of course, I'm talking on the Spectra, but yeah, that's one of its features. All I need is a key.
Have you considered, would you want to learn to use a bug, or would you like to use a fully automatic key?
Well, I'm not certain. I'm not certain if the 9000 has its own keyer built in. I'm accustomed to a straight key. I'd like to use paddles.
Oh, I'd be surprised if it didn't have a keyer, but maybe you're right. Maybe it doesn't. But keyers are cheap enough. In fact, they're fun to build. There's a chip that's got a built-in keyer. There's 1,000 different variations of circuits out there. But I've just recently started to use a paddle occasionally, and I have to say I really don't like it as much as the fully automatic.
Yeah, I think a bug would be interesting, but yeah, like I said, I'm accustomed to a straight key. I think that's fast enough, honestly.
Well, if you want to speak as fast as we're speaking now, I mean, even 28 words a minute is pretty good conversational speed. But yeah, when you're beginning, a straight key is perfectly fine, and I used a straight key for at least a year or two when I was, when I started out as a novice when I was 15 years old. So, but ultimately, let me drop. Ultimately, I think within like 18 months, I went to a fully automatic key. But back in those days, of course, radios really definitely did not have an internal keyer. What radio do you have again? The TS what?
Yeah, it's a Kenwood Tango Romeo 9000. It's a 2-meter all mode.
It probably doesn't. Yeah, it probably doesn't. Most of the 2-meter all modes don't have keyers, except for the more recent ICOM radios. Yeah, but there's so many used MFJ keyers for like $30 out there, $50 at the most. So, but actually, it is fun to make your own keyer circuit.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't take much to throw one together, plug it in, stick it in a little box, or just work off the perf board.
Well, and then there's the old Hallicrafters tube type keyers. I have one. I'm in the middle of restoring it, but that project is stalled because I have too many projects going at one time. That's one of my biggest problems there, William, is too many projects at one time.
Yeah, understood. I've got quite a few myself, and I don't have quite the electronic knowledge that you do. That's another setback for me. Everybody says, study and read up and watch videos. It's all on the internet.
I don't know half as much as I think I know. I did do a fun thing a year or two ago, and that was actually build a reactive circuit and watch the reactance, on an old oscilloscope that I have.
I bet that was a neat project.
6465, I think is the scope I was using, and a coil and a variable capacitor. It was fun. And a, a cheap, frequency counter.
Huh, interesting. I do have a frequency counter here. Those are pretty easy to obtain as well. I'd like to have a desktop model, and they're about the same price. It doesn't matter if you have one for your pocket or one for the desktop.
I'm wondering if these new vector network analyzers actually eliminate the need for a desktop frequency counter.
Well, that's no fun. I love to watch the LED displays, or the let's see. They're not fluorescent. I don't think they're vacuum tubes. I'm leaving something out.
I like the LEDs. The one I have is, made of Trinesium, and I think I bought it maybe half a decade ago, maybe a little more. I think I paid $40 for it at the most. But it's a desktop, but it's nice, and it it goes from DC to daylight. It was cheap.
Yeah, I'd still like to have one in addition to the things on the desk here, and I think it'd be handy. I don't always use one, but they're there, just in case. If I got to check the frequency or count the frequency, if you will, loosely, it's there and it's ready to use in case I'm having some trouble, or at least I think I'm having trouble.
I think I put mine away in the closet when I got my SDR Sharp HF Plus SDR receiver, because I really no longer needed to. But there are, certainly there are circumstances where the SDR receiver is not going to help enough. And of course, these $110, well, they're probably $210 now, RF generators, they are not stable. I mean, they're not, all you got to do is sneeze and it's going to jump.
Yeah, wondering in conversation on CW, do you ask the station if you're on frequency, or do you just check it yourself from the shack?
That's a good question. Well, with the SDR receiver, I can just be plunk right on top of his frequency, and very often I'll move. I forget if I move up or down. I don't remember now, but I'll move a few kc so that he's sure to hear me, and I'm not zero beating. Typically, the standard is let me buy a nickel.
You're gonna buy a nickel? I've never bought
I think
nickels.
the standard is if you're going to use USB to receive CW, if you're going to use sideband to receive CW, then it's USB is the convention. But I use CW, and with the SDR radios now, it's rare that anybody's off frequency unless it's a DX station and he's saying, I'm listening, 10K up or 1K up or whatever.
Oh, okay, I see. So they like to split frequencies on HF.
Stateside and casual DX, I would say everybody's pretty much on the same frequency. Big DX stations that are working major pileups will usually listen up above themselves by at least one or two, or sometimes 10. But you'll tell when they say CQ, they'll say up and some number usually. But my taste for CW is really ragchew.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I seem to remember some of that, and that's a very good way for practice. The only way to practice is have a conversation, anyways. K4ARX.
I remember some conversations when I was a young boy, when I had just gotten my novice, where I think 5 words I was breaking a sweat at 5 words a minute, even though I had passed the test. It's just a matter of using it. And I never really broke through until I was an adult and was actually listening to CW in the car. And that was a breakthrough, is listening to it while driving.
Yeah, I think you learn a totally different way if you're just copying by ear and not writing it down. You're just listening to it. Some of the easier words and phrases is a good start for practice, I understand. And then everything else just kind of fills in. You've been listening to so much code and, copying letters. It's become second nature. I knew a guy that could do that. He'd just sit there at 20 and 30 words a minute, maybe higher, and just wrap away a conversation and copy without writing it down.
You would get carpal tunnel syndrome if you tried to write down even 23 words a minute. I think I start to lose it at anything above 30. But you're right, some words are much easier to head copy than others. The other thing I did, which gave me really was a breakthrough for me. Hang on, let me drop it. Was I had one of those tape recorders, or one of those cassette recorders, and I used to just record. It was one of those cheap shortwave radios, so it had a pretty wide, wide front end, and I would listen to CW in the car. I would just set the timer at home and record 90 minutes of CW. Let me drop. And then I would play it back in the car, but sometimes I would play it back slow. A lot of times I would play it back over and over again and hear the same conversation. And what happened was, that is immersion. The repetition of listening for the one that you missed last time you heard it. So now with the computer, you can just listen to QSOs, and record them and listen to them over and over again, and you'll definitely learn it. I think web SDR is the best way to learn code now.
Yeah, I think that's a little congruent to what I was going to say. It seems to have sort of a rhythm to it. If you're already a musician, you know how to carry a tune in a bucket or more, you could probably handle Morse code fairly easy.
V2OE for guilt association. Yeah, I often tell my wife, because she actually is a better musician than I am. And I often tell her that if she ever decided to learn Morse code, I'd probably have to get out of the way, because it is very musical and rhythmic, and it's a matter of repetition. Learning CW is just like learning how to speak, only it's about 100 times easier than teaching a human how to speak.
I tell you what, in the world of television and movies and streaming things these days, it's funny to watch how many TV series and movies still covering the former use, what they consider it, CW, shows up in the TV shows and movies often as, old Morse code and, fill in the blank.
And if we ever have a real EMP or some horrible thing, that, like cockroaches, CW will be the only thing standing.
That was a little descriptive. K4ARX. Jeez, Bob.
So, William, you're getting the darker side of my Irish sense of humor.
Oh.
I'm going to QRT, William, and watch an ER rerun with my venerable bride who's sitting here patiently. But it's always a pleasure talking to you, and I really mean it. I can no longer put the calls and names on this new hams net on a sticky note. I'm going to really have to use a piece of loose leaf paper now.
I must be lucky because mine's asleep. I can hear her snoring. You must be experiencing the toe tap and folded arms thing with the glare. Okay, 7-3, K4ARX.
I keep too fast. Wait. with my hobbies.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it does help around the house because there's an overlap between the honeydews and some of the skills I've picked up over the years. 73 William, 73 anybody else, and I'll be QRT Alpha Bravo 2 Oscar Echo and the pulsing megalopolis of Chesterfield.
You better be helping out around the house. Them Irish women, they carry a pan, frying pan, especially the southern Irish women. Well, that's right. You guys are out of the Northeast. She might use something else like a rolling pin. I don't know.